Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. Welcome to my channel, Oscar's Green Card. Today we're going to review another failed case for EB2 NIW Green Card application so we can learn from somebody else's mistake and we don't do the same type of mistake. If you want to learn what to avoid in your petition, stick to this video until the end, and I'll also show you where you can check out these cases so you can do your own research on your own time. Let's jump into it. So today we're going to take a look at one case. Last time we actually looked at two cases. Today we're going to make a shorter video and we are going to go step by step in that appeal process so we can understand what this person did, what mistake they made, or what USCIS didn't agree on with this person. In our last video, we reviewed two cases related to the general EB2 requirement. And if you want to take a look at those two cases, I'll leave a link here so you can go directly to that video. Today, we will focus on the Matter of Dhanasar, or we'll start focusing on the Matter of Dhanasar. In future videos, we'll take a look at other cases so we can learn more about other prongs, because today we're going to cover specifically the first prong. And just a quick, very quick recap, don't worry, on the Matter of Dhanasar, on the EB2 requirements. If you want to dive deep into these requirements, I have a video that I'll leave a link here so you can go and check that out. But remember that you have to meet two types of requirements: the general EB2 requirement, which is having an advanced degree or showing exceptional ability. And by the way, for exceptional ability, I also have a specific video on that. I'll leave a link too. And then on top of one of those two, we have to meet the three prongs of the Matter of Dhanasar, which is what makes the EB2 NIW process very special, because this is unique to NIW. We have to have an endeavor that has a substantial merit and national importance. We have to be well positioned to advance that endeavor. And on balance, because we have that endeavor, we are well positioned, it will be beneficial for the US to waive the job offer. And that's also what sets this category apart from others, that you can self-petition, you don't need an employer. You are requesting a waiver for the PERM process, the labor certification process. All right, let's take a look at today's case. We're going to take a look at a civil engineer that wants to tackle the housing issues in the US. And by the way, here in these slides, I'm taking just screenshots of the actual appeal letter. This is how the letter looks like, and later at the end of the video, I'll show you where you can find these types of documents so you can go research on your own time and take a look at failed cases that maybe I don't have time to cover on this channel. Alright, so going back to our slides, civil engineer. The petitioner has 2 US master's degrees in business administration and in engineering management. He therefore qualifies for the underlying EB2 classification as an advanced degree professional. Remember, here we're covering the general EB2 requirement that was on the left side. If we go back to here, they are analyzing if he or she complies with this first portion. And they say, yes, this person has 2 masters, so advanced degree, check mark. You don't need to prove exceptional ability, okay? Just one of the 2. All right, the remaining issue is whether the petitioner has established eligibility for National Interest Waiver under the Dhanasar framework, and that's the right part of our diagram here. They are going to see if they qualify because they meet these 3 prongs. While we do not discuss each piece of evidence, we have reviewed and considered each one. And remember, we're talking about an appeal, so this person already submitted an original petition, probably got an RFE, replied to the RFE, and got his case denied, so now he or she is appealing. The petitioner proposes to continue working with his current employer to develop his skills as an engineer and gain valuable experience to start his own civil engineering consulting firm, to provide services to the public and private institutions in the United States, as well as to generate top-tier and technical jobs for US citizens. While this state, and that was a direct quote from this person's petition. While this statement may establish the substantial merit portion of the first Dhanasar prong, the record does not establish the national importance of its proposed endeavor as required. Okay, so when I read this statement that is quoted here and that I have highlighted, the first thing I would criticize or critique in this case is you should never, as your endeavor, you should never put the center of the endeavor or the focus on the endeavor on yourself. This person did it, and that's a mistake. If you take my EB2 NIW course, you will learn how to craft a very effective endeavor, but one of the things I teach is do not focus on you, focus on what you are providing to the US. And this person is focusing on himself or herself. Because if you read, it says, my endeavor is to develop my skills as engineer and gain valuable experience to then start my own firm. So don't do that. This national interest waiver is about what you can provide to the United States of America. It's not what the US can provide to you. Okay, so you have to show that your endeavor is of national importance and not a personal gain. Even though, later this person explains that this consulting firm is to provide services for public and private institutions in the US, generate top-tier and technical jobs for US citizens, but you started your endeavor statement wrong. Okay, never focus on yourself, focus on the endeavor itself, the national importance of the endeavor. Also, this national interest waiver is not for you to develop yourself. Is again to help the US develop as a country, to help the US competitiveness in several fields, particularly STEM, in general to provide a benefit for the US. So don't craft your endeavor as, well, in this case, I could read between lines that this person is not very well prepared yet, so he wants to gain experience to become someone better. That's what I read between lines when I read this first phrase, and that's the impression that may give to USCIS. And I'm not saying that's what this person is or really what he or she wanted to convey, but that's what I'm reading when I read this statement. So it's a weak statement. Okay, so that's why they have issues with the way he presented himself. And by the way, he's a he, because it says he here. So on appeal, the petitioner asserts that he has previously provided sufficient evidence, including articles and reports regarding housing shortage in the United States, his personal statements, letters of recommendation, and an expert opinion letter. We review his statement and letters of recommendation, blah, blah, blah. None of the letters offers persuasive detail concerning the impact of the petitioner's proposed endeavor or how such impact would extend beyond the employer he serves. Okay? So basically this person says, I already gave you all the evidence you needed. I want you to re-review my case, which is also not the best strategy when you're dealing with an appeal or even with an RFE. Try always to provide some fresh evidence, even if you are going to ask them to go back to your original petition because you think you did send everything that you needed. Try to provide something new so they have some new material to judge you on. That also shows that you are very well prepared if you can generate new material. One of the things that this person provided is letters of recommendations, and what USCIS is saying here is that the letters are not probative of the petitioner's eligibility because they are not quite detailed. And I have a video on recommendation letters you can check out, but particularly I want you to check out my latest video on independent letters, and that's what here USCIS calls expert opinion letters, because that's not from someone that worked with you, it's someone independent, and those letters have more weight. But of course, they have to be well crafted when you ask these people to write a letter for you, they need to understand what these 3 prongs of the Matter of Dhanasar are, so they can touch on each of those prongs, and they help you establish that you actually meet those prongs. So these are not just generic letters, they are very detailed letters about your achievements, about your career. So they say, we note that the petitioner's knowledge, skills, education, and experience are consideration under Dhanasar's second prong, which shifts the focus from the proposed endeavor to the foreign national. The issue under the first prong is whether the petitioner has demonstrated the national importance of his proposed work. The petitioner contends that his endeavor is of national importance because of the national housing shortage in the US and relies on submitted reports and articles about this issue. We acknowledge these circumstances, and we understand that the petitioner's work is in high demand. However, although the petitioner asserts that his proposed endeavor extends beyond Florida, he has not provided sufficient evidence to establish how the implications of the proposed endeavor rise to the level of national importance. The petitioner has not demonstrated that the endeavor has significant potential to employ US workers or offer substantial positive economic effects for the nation. Accordingly, the petitioner proposed work does not meet the first prong of the Dhanasar framework. So this is another important thing. In order to show national importance of your endeavor, you have to document that you are tackling a problem that is nationwide, that affects the whole of the United States. But you really need to tie that problem that exists with the interest of the US government to solve it with what you are planning to do. So it's not only about the field. You not only have to show that your field is very important, that your occupation is very important, but you have to show that there is a problem, that the US wants to fix that problem, and you have to show how you are planning to fix it. Okay, so that last part is a part that a lot of people miss. They just focus on showing that the problem is national in importance, but they don't show that their endeavor is of national importance too. Okay, and that's why this petition failed, because the petitioner here says that his endeavor extends beyond Florida, but he didn't provide evidence. So without evidence, anything you say in your petition, it doesn't matter if it's related to the first prong like this example here, or in another part of your petition, if you don't provide the evidence, your claims are not substantiated, and for USCIS, then your claims are basically worthless. Okay, so always document what you claim. Because the documentation in the record does not establish the national importance as required by the first prong of the Dhanasar decision, further analysis of his eligibility under the second and third prongs would serve no meaningful purpose. So what they are saying here, and this is what I tell people all the time, is that if your first prong is not solid enough, they will not really continue looking at your case. In RFEs, they will provide some writing on why you also may fail second and third prong, but they really stop considering you as a candidate for NIW if you fail the first prong. So the first prong should be extremely solid, should be very well documented. You should document that your field is of national importance, that your endeavor is of national importance, and you should have documentation proving all those things. So my take-home messages for today's video. You need to show the national importance of your endeavor. And for that, you will use White House, Senate, Congress, a website, and you will find documents, executive orders, speeches from the president, from the vice president, from cabinet members, fact sheets, acts, laws of Congress, etc., that establish how your endeavor is of national importance, that the US is worried about this problem that you want to help solve, and how you will need to describe how your endeavor will help to solve that issue. You cannot stop just in there is a problem. You have to continue and say there is a problem and here is how I plan to solve it. So your endeavor specifically should benefit the USA, not just your field. The endeavor should not be geographically constrained, so like this person, he was mentioning that he will work in Florida. That's fine, you can mention where you're going to be located, but you have to make sure that you also convey how being in Florida, in this case, how you're going to benefit the whole of the United States or a majority of the United States, or it will be a global endeavor, which can be also be true, right? It can be an international important endeavor. If you do not meet Prong 1, they don't really care about Prong 2 and 3. That's the other thing I was saying. Okay, that's extremely important. Now I'm going to show you how you can find these cases as promised. So let's go to my browser. So you just need to type AAO Office USCIS. AAO stands for Administrative Appeals Office, and you click on hopefully the first link that appears there. That takes you to this official website, and you can go to the decisions, and you will click on non-present decisions. So you will click there. And then there's a search engine here. You will select the topic of your choice. If you are interested in EB2 NIW, you go to I-140 and you look for the National Interest Waiver. And then the cases will start populating here, so you can start opening those PDFs. And that's what I link when I provide one of these videos. All right? Okay, so one more thing. I'm now on Instagram, and I would love you to follow me. I am under the name of Oscar's Green Card. You can follow me. I will put some news there, some reels, some memes, so we have also a little bit of fun and we can have a better communication on that platform. But of course, I would also invite you to follow me on my website, which is the core part of what I do, EB2NIW.info, where you can find tons of free information. You can also download my I-140 petition, but what I'm especially proud about is my EB2 NIW course, which includes my I-140 petition, adjustment of status package, my ebooks, and exclusive material like template for CV, template for professional plan, and I will walk you step by step on how to craft the best petition for your EB2 NIW case. I really invite you to join my course. I will leave a link here as well. And as usual, I really thank your support. I really thank you for spreading the word, for joining my Instagram, for subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Good luck.